Good morning. I'm going to introduce today's fun activity planned at TST for our 16 to 18 learners. It involves the STEM subjects with themed boat making. Each group will be given a series of apparatus and tools to be able to construct their themed boats. Tutors and teachers last week were given the instructions, and they, with their groups, have come up with a different concept theme to design, and staff members and teachers are also going to be wearing fancy dress in that theme, so look out for that later on. We've also got a couple of famous judges attending later to look out for, and a famous lifeguard to look out for on the water. Judging will take place this afternoon with after lunch, after barbecue and buffet. So yeah, look out for it. It's going to be a really fun day. Embedded in there will be teamwork tasks, leadership, communication, and taking it forward to progress the youngsters in their social skills, etc. What we will ask is for the team leaders to come down and to launch their boats. It'll be over a set time to race across the water to carry an egg. Hopefully that will be intact, and that will go to the judging and scoring of points. Then we will be giving prizes out as a celebration at the end of the day and Christmas.
Here we are for the Great Christmas Boat Race 2020 at Merryhoo Farm. Sir Stevenson rouses the troops for the epic adventure of building a seaworthy vessel. We have a large group of students who will be taking part in this challenge, sending their vicious vessels across the lake for the winner's prize. Sir Stevenson shows them the bag they'll be using, various bits of instrument in there for them to build their seaworthy ships. Let's go visit the first team. A pirate theme coming on with this one. And here they are, hard at work. Young Curtis going ahead with the plans. First mate Dougal helps him out as he comes up with the ideas that will set his team in motion. What will they come up with from this plan? There's the balloon. I think each team has at least one balloon. There are also straws, lolly sticks, and I think this boat's going to take on quite a piratey theme, suited to the various fancy dress costumes they're wearing. Very mathematical, this bunch. Will that come into their favour come the end? Very detailed plans. I say, mighty looking vessel for the pirate team. We'll join our other group now in the double pod. This is Jamie's team, showing off their various bits of equipment, laying them out first. We're at the planning stage, I believe. Approximately 2 hours in. Captain Chris leading the discussion. More planning than actual action here. Gonna have to get their vessel together quickly. They've only got a few hours. I don't see how the mints are gonna come in handy. Flotation devices, maybe. It's a good overview of the different types of equipment they're gonna be using today. But they've got to start sticking bits together, team. Sharon gets on the action, suggests the paper. Not sure how seaworthy a vessel will be made out of paper. She's suggesting the straws now. We'll see how that team comes up with their ideas later on. Let's move on to a different team now. Helen's team. Over in the animal care building. Playing with the string. Already putting something together here. I can see buoyancy devices, I can see a sail, and I can see somewhere for the egg to go. Remember, they have an egg, each team, and they have to keep it safe and secure over the lake. The most problematic part, of course, for this group is the fancy dress. Far more of a challenge than the boat would ever be. And Helen has a tough challenge of trying to get Nigel into his fancy dress. cowboys, cowgirls. A rather a splendid sight, but much more difficult to get into than perhaps they would have anticipated. They've been doing this for 2 hours now, and they're nearly there.
Well, this is good, isn't it?
I don't know.
So with our boat, we got the balloon. So when it's in the water, what we're hoping for that the wind comes and pushes the balloon, and then the balloon just like zooms. And then if it rotates or like knocks or like starts to sink, then we've got like these bits to here. So it just kind of keeps it back on balance.
On to our next team now. It's another pirate team. Pirates Part 2, led by Count Whitebeard. And we'll see how they're getting on. It's a smaller team than the others, but that could prove to be a good thing. Here is second teammate Donna, preparing her costume. Count Whitebeard has got a small team, but you know what they say, too many chefs? Maybe that will play in their favour. It's coming along well so far. It'll be interesting to see what sort of propulsion device they use. Now we're in with the workshop team, led by Richard and John. Monks and Romans, I'm told. That egg is going to be kept more than safe, I believe, but what sort of propulsion mechanism will you be using, lads? You've got to come up with something. You've only got limited equipment to use for it. Seem to be more focused on keeping the egg safe, which is good, but it's not going to be enough. You can't rely on drift, lads. You need to get something on the end of that. Finally now, it looks like we're getting some sort of thruster mechanism. I'm sure we'll find out more about that later on, but let's move on to the next. It's lunchtime, merely an hour before launch. The teams gather. A social distance gathering. There's Beyonce guest starring today. She'll be singing a few songs later. The teams all look very nervous before the great launch. Shall we get straight into it? Looking forward to this one. Let's go find out what the teams have created. Sir Stevenson acknowledges the troops.
We are in Zone 1. This is Syncus Maximus, which is a double turbo prop, jet-powered vessel, which hopefully, when these are inflated and allowed to deflate through the rear straws, will send this like a meteor across the lake, transporting our egg some distance. But we're not holding out too much hope, but we'll see. It's going to be quite a difficult launch, I think. And these are our stabilisers at the side. So, yeah, good luck.
Zone 2, we've got the SS Boinkity Boink.
You take a are you recording? Oh, you drop.
It floats.
And I'm the team leader.
We think.
Yeah. And how it works. We take the cork out and air from the balloon will propel it to go forward.
The boat's called the Spirit, and it's propelled by undoing the string and the balloons propeller. Okay.
Welcome to Zone 4 group. Our boat is the Green Pearl nowadays. It was black, but it's now green. Designed by Curtis and built by the rest of the guys. Project leader. Who was project leader? Ashley, and who's number 2? Alfie is number 2.
How does it work?
Launching, hopefully the wind gets behind it and the wind takes over. We've got additional flotation on either side for buoyancy and stability. And off she goes.
Right here we have Zone 5, and this is the Great Nigel. It's a very beautiful ship. We are very proud of our Nigel. That's why we named our ship because of him.
Those are your teams. We'll see how they handle it. Meanwhile, the judges are preparing. We have first Mate Cowell and Sister Glover.
Here we go.
They'll be keeping a close eye on proceedings. And here comes Spamler Anderson. Our lovely lifeguard couple prepare to jump in should anything tragic happen. Spoilers, nothing does. There's Spammer Anderson, ready and waiting. A heart of pure evil on that one. Sir Stevenson is ready for action. And here comes our first boat. Sincus Maximus, a late body change, it seems. That's not the one they showed off, but here it goes, rocketing forward, with a little help from one of the lifeguards. And that's a bush. You don't want to go into the bush, you want to turn around. Turn to port. Sincus Maximus, not quite living up to its name yet. But you can just see on the back there is a propeller. Spamler Anderson, though, senses her prey and is hovering around menacingly. Sincus Maximus has now turned around, but once again, obviously no compass on that thing. Not going very far, Sincus Maximus, maybe a couple of metres there. The lifeguard is on hand just in case. The judges, though, aren't very impressed, and that's not a great distance covered by Sincus Maximus. Next up is the SS Boinkety Boink. Team Captain Chris will set this one off. Now, we were told that the balloon would deflate and power the vessel across the water. But it looks like that's not what's going to happen. Nevertheless, that was a good forward thrust from Team Captain Chris, and the SS Boinkety Boink is going forward, which is more than Sincus Maximus did. That's good progress across the lake, and it even seems to be speeding up, despite the twisting. It's unusual. From the shore, Team Captain Chris is using the dark side to propel the SS Boinkety Boink forward. I'm not sure what the judges will think of that. I think they're a bit disapproving of that use of the force here, but it probably will count. It's making some good distance here. The SS Boinkety Boink is rocketing across the lake. Spamler Anderson nowhere in sight. And that's a good at least 5 metres across the lake there. Stunning stuff from the SS Boinkety Boink. And there is call time, much further than Sincus Maximus. We could have an early start here. Sister Glover, love that one. And this is Count Whitebeard. Seems to be cheating. Not too happy so far, and he's given up. I think he's leaving. He's had enough. Count Whitebeard has had enough. He's gone. Disappointed with the progress of his vessel, Spirit. Gone about the same distance as Sincus Maximus. It's still going. I'm not sure what use the balloons have provided there, but obviously Count Whitebeard wasn't too happy about it. Not much progress. And I don't think it's enough to beat the SS Boinkety Boink. Here comes Spamler Anderson to eat up her prey. And the judges rather pleased with that one, but I don't think it's going to be a winner. Next up, the Green Pearl. How can this one and all the mathematics do on our shark-infested lake? Off it sets. Team Captain Curtis watches on, ponderous. Much as this vessel is, it's turning to starboard, turning in the right direction, but it needs to propel forward. What form of propulsion has this one got apart from the sails? There's not very much of a wind today, and you can't exactly count on Spamler Anderson to help them out here. He watches on, an evil stare in his eyes. He is hungry for his prey. Here he comes. Bad performance there from the Green Pearl. We still have SS Boinkety Boink in the lead. Here comes the last team now. Can they spring a surprise? We were told that the balloon would act as a sail. But I think there's been a change of plan here from Team 5. And the balloon has been separated from the vessel. Sister Glover isn't happy about something, but in the meantime, Team Captain Ethan has thrown the vessel into the water. Where's the balloon? We don't know. Not quite propelling itself here, this vessel. That sail doesn't be providing much. Not much of a headwind here. But there we go. There's the plan. Deflating the balloon from a distance to cause the wind. A brilliant idea, ingenious. Is it working? The ship is going backwards. Not quite according to plan, I don't believe. Making steady progress, but I don't think it's enough to beat SS Boinkity Boink, and I think that one has it. I think the SS Boinkity Boink is the winner today. Spamler Anderson agrees and pounces for the kill. The judges, very impressive today's competitors, but there can only be one winner, and that is the SS Boinkity Boink.
You want to give yourselves a round of applause?
And in first place, I suppose it just needs one group really.
One group.
Come on in guys, up and come and get it. Hooray! There you go, Chris.
Well done, Chris. Hey, look at that smile.